Welcome back. Never quite sure how to start these. It's been a while. Hope you've had some excellent games since we last spoke. Got some hot tea here. A little bit of light jazz in the background. You know what that means. Yes, we're going to be watching someone's game. This is a different game that we're watching tonight. Put out by a channel called 3D6 Down the Line. This was a new one, so thanks to one of you, brilliant, handsome, discerning viewers, that suggested I take a look at this. It is a different style of game, and I'm glad that you sent me this. It's different and a lot different than the highly produced, what shall we call it, entertainment media. Like this is pretty far away from what you'd expect from a Critical Role. This is not Critical Role, and I don't think that's a slight against this channel and this game. I think this is what I like about this game. So let's start with what I like, because you're here for what I don't like. But let's talk about what I like. I like that all of the participants here in this game are here for the game, and that's what there are very few distractions. There's a little bit of beef jerky, but we'll let that go, because who doesn't like beef jerky? I mean, come on. But aside from that, there really is not a lot of distractions. These players and the game master, they're in game mode, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's frankly a lot of what's missing in some of these other games that we've watched together. That said, I think that there is some things that would improve this as we watch this game session and watch these players and game master. Let's see how they do. We're going to start here, and again, they haven't asked for this, so just in case you're wondering, no, they haven't asked, and you know they're doing just fine. They don't really need my input. The purpose of this, again, I've mentioned this in the past, but it's worth repeating. I am convinced that your game and mine is better the more that roleplay is the focus of the game. And roleplay meaning in-character play. The more of that, the better, in my opinion. And we're going to watch something that happens in this game where I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity, because it isn't as in-character as it could have been. And something happens that is just shocking in a good way. So let's transition this over. We're gonna be saying here, I've got the closed captions turned on. Hopefully you can see that. And we'll fade out our lovely jazz. There we go. Thank you. We'll fade that out. We'll come back to that. But let's watch this now again. 3D6 down the line. We've got the names here. Oh, let me get it started so you can see this. Here we go.
All right, we are back. Bladder's empty.
Okay, so they just had a little pause, so I'm starting right after the pause. And let's just go through who we've got here. We've got John, the referee, Mike playing Brother Lothar, David playing, you can't see it because of the captions, Upior, different name. Good for you, David. And Matt playing Wolfherd Cheek. Now, one of the things that I'm going to suggest to you, gentlemen, is that let's move these up here. I think it would be much better if you speak in first person. Now, it's not a deal breaker to be in third person, but I just think it's much better. It's a reminder that you're playing this character rather than you're just over their shoulder watching them. Like you're right there. You're that character. Let's just start and we'll play it for a little bit and see how it goes.
Beer's full. Okay, so they have made their way down the pit, past the mushrooms and the dead bodies, into what they are assuming is a Heketi tunnel towards the northeast, and have gone for about 120 feet towards the northeast, underneath the containment center, and at a point where your light sources are showing that it sort of opens up into a larger carved out chamber. You're not step into it, but your light does illuminate what appears to be, again, rough dimensions here, a let's see, about a 30-foot east to west by 20-foot north to south rough-hewn chamber. Okay, there is
it's squared out or no?
It is not squared out, so it's very rough-hewn. Everything, there's no like.
One of the things that we're going to notice, and John, this is something that that I think that your players, because they're all pretty dedicated players, it looks like to me. If you were to say to them, I'm not there as the game master, as a referee, I'm not actually there. So when I describe something, if something isn't clear enough, the way I would handle this is, David, instead of just asking, so are there corners? You would say, I look around looking for right angles. I look around to see if there's corners. And then John jumps in, no, it's just a rough hewn as described. Or even better, why not just show them? They come into this area. Here's what it looks like. If you have, like, I don't know, you see here above my head, they have a map here. Now, part of this game is the exploration of this this ship or something it's kind of a spaceship as dungeon thing. It's very interesting. And exploration is a big part of this, is they're exploring out this. And so I can understand why you would not want to reveal the whole map. That's fine. But maybe in the room, if you could just show a picture of the room, that would eliminate a lot of the questions. Well, what about this? Or what about that? But let's keep going.
Right angles. No masonry at all. Other dimensions. 30-foot east to west, 20-foot north to south.
Oh, 30 east to west. Okay, I gotcha.
Roughly. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then there is the tunnel continues naturally. Carved out of the north side of that chamber, and it's about a 10-foot wide opening, but quickly narrows to be about 5 feet again, and it continues on a north vector.
From the center of it?
Yeah, from the center, correct.
So it pinches up. John, these tunnels that we've been going through, do they look like the tunnel that is near, like, the other end of this? Remember when we came in through a long time ago, before we even went up the stairs into the Hall of Heroes?
The way I'd handle that, Matt, is I think back to the tunnels that we were in before, and I say to another character that's there, hey, does this look familiar to what we were at before? Then John can jump in, and he can just either in the affirmative, yeah, or no. So I would suggest, Matt, instead of doing this out of character, asking John all these questions, just do that in character instead. Because then I think that it just flows much better. And the game is role-playing. So that's what I would suggest. Let's keep going.
There was that, like, secret tunnel that was accessed with a sliding panel, and it had, like, this naturally, like, pseudo carved by a creature look.
Yeah.
No. Is that ringing bells for you?
Yeah, I know the tunnel you're talking about, but it vaguely,
Not
same sort
identical.
of thing where
you can't see Matt.
Hold
on.
It's not.
Got a disaster here. Hold on. We got to fix this. What's the problem? Problem's my head. How are we going to fix that? Hold on. I gotta figure this out. Can we move this higher so you can see Matt? I want you to be able to see Matt. Okay, there. And then let's move this guy over. How about that? Now you can see Matt. All right.
Not natural, but yeah. Mm.
And none of the oily, pebbly stuff that we've seen.
No, and that is not here, to be
Okay.
clear. You have not seen any indication of that. You saw Hecate corpses and made assumptions. Okay.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
I'll step into the room. What do I?
Good. See, I like that. I step into the room. Love it.
See?
Now, when you step into the room, perhaps things will be a little bit more confirmed for you. There is a couple of things here. The first thing you notice, directly ahead of you, right in the center of the room, is a 4 foot tall, about 3 foot wide, leathery sack of some sort. Looks vaguely egg-like. That is right in the center of the room, just sitting in the dark, alone.
I don't like that.
On the
Don't like
western
that.
side,
Seen this movie.
along the wall, however, there is a 5 foot tall, so shorter than most of you, statue of what is obviously a Hecate. Okay, it's sitting on the top of a 2 foot tall pedestal. It's roughly carved out of what is obviously the same granite that these tunnels are made out of. Okay. It's depicted as a very thick-legged Hecate that is holding a staff in one hand, and the other hand is pointing back down the direction that you came from. All right. That one is so that whole thing is carved out of granite, but that thing in the center is definitely not stone.
Ugh. I do not like that thing in the center. It's full of spiders, or it might be full of those little frogs.
How do you spell Hecate again? Sorry.
That does not matter. That is the last thing that is important here. Matt, I'm assuming you're speaking as Wolfherd Cheek. What is that? He's just, there's something there. It's awful. What is that? How do you spell this?
Equeti.
You could tell they're evil because they have a Q in their name.
With no.
Oh, come on. Come on. There's such a good opportunity here. Now it's, oh no, they have a Q without a U. Now they're evil.
To accompany it.
Thick like a Hecate pointing in which direction again?
Back the way you came.
He said all of this. You guys are right in, like you're invested in this game. You've put a lot of work into it. He said all of this. If you were paying attention to that rather than moving cursors around trying to draw things out, you wouldn't be asking that question again, would you?
Came.
South.
If we just like turn around and look at over our shoulders, John, at the place that we just came in, is there anything significant about the?
No. See, there's a way to do this in character that will feel more natural. Matt, the way I'd suggest you do this is you say, first of all, Matt, you haven't said that you're in the room. Only David has said that I step into the room. I don't know where the rest of you are. I have no clue. And John doesn't either, spoiler alert, because he's going to ask you in a few minutes. The way to do this in character, Matt, is simply to say, I turn around and look back in the direction that the statue is pointing. I look up. And then John can read the block text of whatever it is that he's going to read.
The tunnel entrance that we just
No.
exited from?
No.
Okay.
What do you guys think about putting a shot through the egg in the middle?
Why don't we? We can conserve those for a little bit. Why don't I can just toss torch if somebody's got one. Do I have one? Set it on fire.
I have 6. You could have 6.
All right. Let's take out our cool laser guns.
Before we do that, do you want me to throw the magical net atop it?
It can't be destroyed, correct?
I
We
gotta
haven't
reread.
been able to destroy it with other stuff.
The immobilized mesh has an AC 10. All right, 20-foot area.
Oh, probably from cutting things, right?
Yeah. Immobilize any summoned or gated creature 25 to 50 HP will hurt the mesh. Wait. Okay, I don't fully understand the reading, but even if it's a mundane net, is it worth using a net? Or just you want to choose fire into this thing? I think we're going to provoke an event, so.
David, try to just be the character, right? Instead of this, well, I've played enough of these games to know that there's going to be an event here.
You think?
Use
Maybe?
the laser rifle.
Just
Just
kind of what we do.
blast it with the laser rifle. You want to throw some oil on it first?
Yeah, John, I'm going to get down.
Yeah.
Don't burn
What?
burn it yet. The oil won't provoke, I think, like a hatching moment, right? We'll just prepare it for a burning. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am assuming To my great peril, I'm assuming this is all in character.
And then we can laser.
John is laughing because it's full of treasure. I guarantee you he's laughing.
Mike, stop it. I want to hear you as Brother Lothar. That's all I want to hear.
It's full of treasure.
Shit.
We're gonna shoot it, and there's gonna be like 50 health potions.
You know what? Do you want me to just walk up to it and peer deeply into it?
No, it's like
Ash
with your
style?
space.
Not Ash.
Knock on it a little bit. What was his name?
John Hurt style.
Yeah, John Hurt's.
John Hurt style. I want to do this. I want to take a flask of oil out of the sack, and I want to. You know what? I'm going to go up
it's
towards
Barrios.
it.
That's what he's for.
Okay, so now that Matt has said that, does his character actually do that? That's my question. Do you do that? You just state your action. Say where you are, what you do. I walk up with a flask of oil and I dump the contents on this leathery egg sack. Great. Now someone else can do something.
Okay, Barrios, go pour the oil on the thing.
Pour oil on it.
John,
Okay.
while he's doing that, John, I'm gonna be lined up with that rifle on that egg and just be ready to go.
Okay. Wolford will have his laser pistol out too. Pew.
Barrio is not feeling it, but he does what he's been hired to do.
I'll engage my shield ring for the first time today.
Shield ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we tell him to come back as soon as you pour the oil. Come right back, Barrios.
Okay. And he's like, all right, and he goes over there and he douses it. And he he's like shaking as he does it, and he like drops the flask and like runs back after. Back to you. Nothing seems to happen when he does that.
It's fine. We don't need to shoot it.
It's glistening with oil.
I'll go open it.
All right.
I would just say that, John. I wouldn't say nothing seems to happen and just say the object glistens with oil. I focus on what's observable. That would be helpful. Don't give anything away because like these guys already think, oh yeah, something's coming. Don't give them any clues. Just let them interact.
I'm going to walk up to it, John. I'm going to take Isocritus' dagger, which, in fairness, could do a lot of damage in terms of poison and all that. But
don't. Why are we talking about all the mechanics, David? I walk up, I pull out a dagger. Now that's a good turn, right? That's what you do in your turn. Now it should be Matt's turn or Mike's turn, or whatever the hapless hireling that you have that's pouring oil on dangerous egg sacks. And
I'm just going to and I gently is the pertinent word here because I'm going to feel resistance.
David has, you do these turns where you're trying to couch everything that you're saying to try to protect for what future might happen.
If I hit something that feels like it has tension.
It's a leather sack. As soon as the point of the dagger hits it, it's going to have tension.
I'm not going to continue pushing, aka treasure that we could destroy. And I'm just going to insert it into the side of the egg sac very slowly until I feel resistance.
Well, you feel resistance immediately, right? Like it's a leathery pod.
Okay, so let's treat
that happened. You said it. No takebacks. No takebacks. Ever.
This as like a croquette, right? I know I'm going to feel resistance on the exterior aspect of it. And then once I push through it, I want to push until I feel something else.
Okay, got it. Okay, so yeah, you're crouched. Where are the rest of you guys?
This, John, I feel you. Where are these players? Where are they? Where are the characters? Mike, where is Brother Lothar? You have yet to speak as Brother Lothar. You haven't said where he is. Matt, you haven't said where your guy was. David just said that he stepped into the room. So as far as I'm concerned, the other players and their hirelings, the one that came back after dumping oil on the egg sack, they're all where? I don't know. That's why it's important as a component of your turn to say where your character is.
Just asking.
Oh, sorry. While I'm doing this, also, John, while I'm doing this, my leather boots are engaged. I'm doing it as I hover from above.
Okay, all right.
John, I'm gonna be like maybe like in this 10-foot section just south of the entrance.
Yeah.
crouched with my shield in front of me and the laser rifle like resting on top of the shield.
Okay.
I also want to reiterate, if it matters,
David, you have had a turn. You've had almost all the turns.
Iso's dagger is a +1 to hit, but also on a nat 20 is an instant death poison.
Every time on the mechanics. If it becomes pertinent, it'll become pertinent. Until then, we don't need to hear it.
Gotcha.
For what it's worth.
I'm sure that'll happen.
Yeah.
And I'll be near the entrance to that tunnel leading to the south.
What is near? I'm a half step away. I'm a step into the room. I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. I shouldn't nitpick that. Fine. Near the entrance, whatever that is. My concern is that what's happening here is they're using couched language. Well, I'm kind of here, but I'm sort of like there. I'm worried if I put myself in an exact position, then John's going to kill me.
Okay, and Barrios is
Laser pistol out.
So all of you guys.
Barrios will be at my
back
side.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. All right. All right. So.
Oh, this is gonna be terrible. I should have used the death staff. Why did I pick?
The goal of the game what is the goal of the game? Is the goal of the game just to uncover the map? Is that the goal of the game? It might be. In all fairness, for this group, that might be what the goal is. We just want to draw the map. The goal isn't role play. It's not being in character. It's simply to draw the map. We want to try to flesh out this map. If we can draw out the map, we win. I would suggest that there's a better goal. The better goal would be I am going to try to role play this character such that the character is believable, that I feel like I really connect with this character.
Think of the dagger. I could have done the Mort Eternum staff. Fuck. Oh well.
I think you might find some more
C'est la vie.
Eternum in a few minutes.
I know.
I hope you enjoyed your level.
Something's going to happen here that is an excellent opportunity for roleplay. Now, spoiler alert, I think every moment of the game should be seen as an opportunity for roleplay because it is a role-playing game. So you know how I am. But just listen to what happens here. And is there any roleplay that happens because of this event?
Give me a second.
I did. Oh, the give me a second is really freaking me out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How many spiders are going to come out? Is it spiders?
Okay.
How many
so
spiders?
when you're hovering above and you slowly insert the dagger, and it punctures the egg sac. The moment that it punctures the sac, okay, the whole thing ruptures like a bomb, just boom. But it's not actually like an explosive sound. It's more like a gigantic like sputch, like a as the whole thing just sort of opens up violently, and a horrid, awful, what you can obviously tell was the source of like that strange smell you were smelling. Certainly is redolent all over the place, and green slime just explodes outwards in all directions.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that rifle, Mike? I'm about to float straight up. By the way.
Okay, no. You're covered in green slime. What is the response for being covered in green slime?
I'm about to float so fast. The minute that happens, I
David, no. Role play this, please.
go up, 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 up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What's the name of that Nickelodeon show?
Oh, why? Why?
Because I think
Can't
you're
do
on
that on
that.
television.
Yes, you can't do that on television. Okay. Kind of dates us, doesn't it? But still, you can't do that on television where they would just randomly pour like a bucket of green slime. All right, fine. If that's what you're visualizing, great. I prefer you not bring in Nickelodeon shows because this is about as far from Nickelodeon as you can get based on the description that John's going to give of the effect of the green slime.
All right.
Are you
So
afraid of the dark? Because I am.
Da, da, da.
John, what are we reading here? Like what? Why?
Okay, so it's a nasty thing. So
Just describe it. Just describe it. This is awful.
are you there, David?
David, I love beef jerky too.
Oh,
He's hiding.
Yeah.
He's hiding.
Yeah.
I'm eating beef jerky off camera.
Yeah, well, I like beef jerky. I mean, we can give him a pass for the beef jerky, but still, this is your character now dissolving by green slime.
So everyone doesn't have to watch me eat.
Green slime explodes outward from this weird bomb, egg bomb sort of thing, coats you entirely. As it coats you,
Yeah.
you guys can see from the distance. So this is all in a split second. I know you're all shit about to break loose. You can immediately he is.
Did you hear that? The timing cue? This all happens in a split second. Now, players, when your game master says this happens in a split second or immediately, then your actions, your turns should reflect that.
Upior screams in pain.
Okay, John, David should be doing this. David should be playing this, not you.
And he is immediately obscured by toxic vapor as acid starts to burn all the way through him. His jumpsuit is actually starting to peel off of him quickly, like within a matter of seconds, and it's horribly painful.
Okay, now we got the picture of what's going on. It's definitely not Nickelodeon.
Painful that there is no hit point damage that is actually applied. You can see that as his face is sort of melting off of him, that face is started like RoboCop when they hits the dude toxic waste, right, and his like face is it's melting off. That part, like that stuff that's melting off.
Here's a great practice. As a game master and a player. If you're when you picture something, practice describing it. Just practice describing it. Like one of the things that I think helps the most as far as GM tips is when you're watching a show or especially like a movie or something like that, pause it. Just pause it and describe what it is you see. You could use a movie or a TV show like a flashcard almost. You pause the scene, like you're talking about, RoboCop. Guy gets splashed with acid. What happens? Joker falls into the vat. Whatever it may be. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Guy looks into the Ark of the Covenant. You've got that picture in your head. Describe it as succinctly and accurately as you can. And practice doing those kind of descriptions. Because soon you'll be able to give those evocative descriptions. It's a practice. You can practice this. You can get better at it with some practice. You'll be able to give evocative descriptions without having to reference the material itself, without having saying, hey, you guys ever seen this movie? Because now they're thinking about the movie. I don't want them thinking about the movie. I want them to think about how Upior's face is melting off his skull and turning into the very thing that is melting it. Great opportunity for role play here.
Off is like turning into green slime. It's like as it coats his body. He's alive, but you're going to have to think and act very quickly. You can also act too. You can act too pure.
I'm going to attempt to, with whatever vestige still exists on me, rip the jumpsuit off, right? So I can like tear away that acidic sort of thing. I know it's still splashed on the exposed skin. Mm-hmm. That's my first move. It's just a
Good. That's his move. Next.
fucking. I'm getting ass naked, y'all.
Yeah.
No, your character and you in this moment should be thinking agony. I'm role playing here. A character whose flesh is dissolving off their face and all other extremities.
Get it off of me. Get it off of me.
That's step one, right? I think after that.
No, just stay with that. Stay with that. Then you're kind of like, and then after that, I'm going to do this. And then, no. Just you got the cue from John here that this is all fast, seconds.
Step 2, I don't think it'll work. Again, this is like, we can do this within like a turn, or I don't know. I'm going to take my water skin and try to like start dumping it on myself to sort of like wash away what is on my exposed sin.
Can I just ask real quick, John, is there still a like a vaporous cloud, or is it just was that a description of like the slime spattering everything?
Is it still in there?
That was just sort of like flavor.
Somebody throw a healing potion at me or something.
Hold on one second. I am going to activate my flying kite shield.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fly in. He's still levitating. I'm going to grab him with not my hand for sure. I'm going to like hook the back of his jumpsuit with.
He's ripping off his jumpsuit.
Here, I'll hand you the end of a rope. Just like toss it to you as you fly
and
up.
I'll
right?
just like throw a loop around him, and then I'm going to fly him back as quickly as possible out of the area.
That makes sense.
Okay, so just so you're aware, though, he's coated with it, right. That damage is already done. He's already coated with it. So like you bringing him back is going to not alleviate that at all.
Okay. Don't tell him that, John. Let him do the thing. Let him play that.
Okay, so
Okay.
what we need is
See, that's why people. I'm convinced that we game masters, we create habits in our players, such as test driving your turns. Could I do this by saying things like, "Well, you do know if you do that, then it's not actually going to work." That no, just let them try, and then it fails. Oh well.
So we can all work on him.
Yeah.
Pour some milk on me. We need a base to counteract assassin.
I will.
You're dying. You're in agony. The last thing you're thinking of is the pH scale of the things that are in your bag, which, by the way, has now dissolved. It's all just goop. I would prefer, guys, this was such a crazy thing that happened. And it would have been so much more memorable. And I do think that because I've watched this, the players love this. They say afterwards, "Oh, that's just awesome. It was great that we had this happen." But I'm watching this thinking, it was a really cool thing. It would have been so much better if you had role played it.
I will actually pull some a nice base out of the sack to try to neutralize that acid. I think I don't know off the top of my head if it would be some kind of like chalk or some kind of thing. If I see,
all right, guys, try to keep your turn shorter. Mike says he activates his flying kite shield, and he flies in. Matt says, "I toss a rope to Mike as he flies in." David says, "My face is melting off." Right? That's David. This whole like, hey, maybe we could do. No, you're dissolving. Role play the dissolving character.
See this like burn.
But now we have this thing. Well, you just tossed because David said, hey, we need to have something to neutralize the acid. Matt's now jumping in and saying, oh, well, I know what I have. I'm looking at maybe some chalk.
Sensation on here, just something that would neutralize. Chalk is the only thing that I can.
A bag of chalk would make sense. Like climber's chalk, like powdered chalk. Yeah. That makes sense.
So John, I'll just work on activating my shield, throwing the rope over him, and pulling him out, so that everybody else can be working on him at the same time. Right?
Okay. All right. So you do all that kind of stuff. As you're hastily like, oh fuck. You're rooting around the bag and you're doing the rope and all that kind of stuff. You can see, Upior, you can also see when it's on your skin that it's not just like normal acid. It's not like you got splashed with acid. They're like you're coated with green slime. And that slime is like moving on your skin as it basically devours your flesh.
Okay, I think we need to like burn it off.
Why are you saying this? Okay, David, if you're going to role play that, then I want to see it role played. You don't have to be an actor. You could just say, I scream in agony. burn it off. Ah. Something.
Do we need?
I know it sounds
What about
crazy
a
to immolate
neutralized
me,
poison?
but I think it sounds crazy to immolate me, but I think you might need a fireball.
What sounds crazy to me is that you're speaking so rationally when you're dissolving under an assault from green slime. That's crazy to me. At the same time, what is your character doing again? Oh, right. You're floating in the air, covered in green slime, tearing your clothes off as fast as you can. The last thing you're doing is calling out, guys, I think you need to immolate me. Hear me out. I think we need to burn it. Meanwhile, Brother Lothar is flying in at speed, I assume, to rope you in and carry you out from where you are, right above this this green slime bomb egg sack thing. See, when I describe that in my head, I'm picturing that. I'm picturing what that looks like. That's what everyone should be doing, right? Trying to picture what this looks like. That'll help inform what your character would do in the situation.
Fireball me, Mike. I think you need to do something to take the organic solid that is sentient on some level and kill it.
I'm gonna spark up a torch and hold it to Upior and see if I can get the slime to react to the flame. Will it retreat from the flame?
Okay. So roll me a d6.
That's a 3.
A 3. Okay. So so Upior, you're going to take 1 point of damage from the fire, and the green slime recoils from the place from where you put the torch.
Fuck yes.
Okay. Revealing, basically, we'll say it's on his arm. Like on his forearm. It reveals a spot of his forearm which has been dissolved down to the bone.
Okay, role play that. Down to the bone.
It's really fucking ugly. But it did retreat from that space, and it recoiled in obvious alarm, right?
Yeah.
So you did 1 to Upior and 2 to the slime.
Keep doing damage on me. I have 12 HP. I don't have a lot of HP, but keep doing damage on me.
Oh, I hate this. Keep doing damage on me. No. You've just seen your bone exposed after being burned by an ally. What are you going to do? You're going to have you should be in panic mode here.
Me till they're gone. It's worth doing.
So, John, I am going to, as soon as he takes about 5 points of damage, I'm going to cast Cure Light.
How do you know what 5 points of damage is? How do you know that he has 12 hit points left? Why are you sharing information that wouldn't be obvious to the player? What does 12 hit points left look like? What does 5 hit points less than 12 look like? This to me sounds like gaming with a health bar over your character. I mean, isn't that just a video game then? Role play this.
Wounds on him.
As soon as he takes what?
5
points of damage, fire damage. I'll cast Cure Light Wounds on him.
So I've taken 1 damage so far. Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Wolfherd is going to Mike, you said you had 6 torches?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to grab so that he has 2. He's dual wielding torches, and he's going to give 2 to Barrios as well, and light them from each other, and use all 4 to maximize, basically come at him from all angles to burn this slime off of him.
Let me put it this way then, because you might have to think twice about that. We should think about this in sort of
What? No. If he does that, and it's going to take longer than just describe in haste taking out the torches, lighting the torches. Meanwhile, Upior has now no arms left. Oh, this is taking too long. Oh no. Instead, you're saying, well, you sure you want to do that? Because it's going to take, this is going to take A long
combat
time.
terms, even though there's no real like combatant, right?
Yeah.
You can judge by the speed by which Upior is slowly turning into green, not slowly,
almost
very
fell.
rapidly turning into green slime himself. That he probably has at this point about 4 rounds before he's completely green slime.
Ugh.
In terms of like handing out torches and lighting him and all that kind of stuff, that would take like another round.
Matt, just douse them in oil and set them on fire.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
it depends,
yeah.
you can
David,
weigh
you're
the risk
muted,
reward.
buddy.
You may have enough damage that you deal with those torches in order to account for the, you know.
I don't think AC is an issue here, but just like workshopping it out. I have the spell Phantom Armor. I don't know I don't even know that I could cast a spell in my panic right now, but Phantom Armor gives me like a significant AC boost.
David, I'm glad you said panic. Where's the role play of the panic? Because now you're talking about spells that you have. In his panic, he casts a spell. It doesn't work. Fine. Next turn.
Right, like a magical AC boost. If I tried to cast that on myself as a resistance to this sort of like encroaching thing, I could just give it a go. I don't know that it would work, but
I would say
as
this.
you burn me, go ahead. Sorry.
I think you're a skilled enough magic user to know that that would not have the effect you're looking for.
Okay.
He may be a skilled enough magic user to know that this isn't going to help, but he is also dissolving. And in his panic, he just instinctively goes for the first thing he can think of, and it doesn't work. That's better than you would know that's not going to work. Yeah, well, he may, in normal circumstances, when he's not being dissolved down to the bone, he may be rational enough to know that that wouldn't work. Just let him in the moment, in the heat of the moment. But frankly, I don't know, David. Your guy is dissolving. Can you role play that?
Okay. Cool.
All right. So
if
let's
I think we got to
sorry.
douse them in oil, guys. We got to douse them in oil.
Burn me out. Burn me out, dude. Do it.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So who's dousing him?
Okay, the way this works is, Mike, on your turn, you say where you are and you say what you do. It's that simple. And then Matt, you do the same thing, and David does the same thing. And then John doesn't have to ask questions like, okay, so what are you guys doing? Because you're already in your turn, you're doing that. And here's an added thing. Here's an added bonus. I'm just trying to be super helpful here. You will know, you'll get to learn the cues of whose turn it is based on their turn, what they say on their turn, because you know the components of their turn. You know that part of the component of their turn is where they are. So you hear that. Okay, I know, I got that. The next thing is what they're doing. I hear them say that. Okay, so I know their turn's almost over. They've said where they are. They say what they're doing. They might even say something that they say. And then I know for sure, turn over, next person goes. Even without queuing, like you just go like, okay, good. Mike goes, then David, then Matt. Mike, David, Matt goes quick like that. And it just becomes natural. It's just part of a conversation. It's just, okay, I hear what he does. Yeah, he says. If he doesn't say where he is, then he is where he was last stated. Do you understand what I'm saying? In his last turn, he said, I'm standing near the entrance. I haven't changed where I am. I'm still there. So in my next turn, if I just say an action, then everyone can assume correctly that I'm still standing where I am. I haven't moved.
Barrios is dousing him with oil. Sorry, Matt, just expediting. And you're lighting the torch, and I'm getting ready and I'll be ready with the cure spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So mark off
Barrios has oil. He'll dump it on him. I'll
mark
light
off the
oil.
flask and mark off the other flask that you did initially to coat the egg if you didn't do that already.
I don't think you need to babysit these guys. They seem to me to be the kind of players that you can trust will mark off their inventory sheets on their character sheet what they've used. And if you're the kind of player that's going to game that and you're not going to mark off what you've used, what are you doing? I mean, come on. Everyone should be able to. I advocate for high trust games, and John, I think you can trust these guys, and they should be able to trust you, and just so you don't have to remind them. Okay, guys, remember you used that, because they're in charge of that. I trust that they do it. I think these guys would.
All right. And then you're going to light it on fire. Okay.
Yes.
Roll me 2d6.
That's 10.
10. Okay. Upior, you're going to take 5. And the thing is going to take 5. It retreats across the entire mass of Upior's body in like numerous different places as like Upior just basically lights up. This is fucking horrible, by the way. Like he's floating in the air and he's screaming from.
But he hasn't been screaming. I agree, John. That's what I'm picturing. That it should be that. If it was role played, that's what it would be. It would be a horrific, nightmare-inducing scene. Which is great, by the way. But I don't. If they were role playing this, then you wouldn't have to remind them just how grave the situation is.
Acidic, consumption, and also from now he's basically like a torch, right? So it's horrific to watch, especially since you're doing it to him. But it looks like there's a small remnant of slime that is still on there and is just chewing away right on his gut.
Okay.
And how much damage have you taken, David?
I have 7 HP left.
John, I'm going to hit him with the Cure Light Wound spell.
Okay.
And if I take fire damage to do it, then so be it.
You won't. That's right. You have to touch him, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You will. Okay. So you roll your healing first.
Okay, you get 5 hit points.
And Mike, you're going to take 4 hit points of damage from fire.
Okay.
Unless you have a resistance item or something.
I actually, you know what? Thank you. The tactical suit that I'm wearing gives me resist cold and fire for half damage.
Nice. Okay. So what did I say?
love
4?
it.
So you take
I
2
love
points.
There you go. There you
Oh,
go.
you're wearing
yeah.
the tactical
Oh,
suit. So yeah, you with the rifle, tactical suit, and the eye.
This guy, he's not of this world. This is a traveler character at this point.
Totally.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So he would continue to burn, right, with the oil, like that lasts.
That's exactly right. So you could
rounds,
speed up the process by doing something else, or if you wanted to see how the oil does. But it looks like there's only like one spot on him left. That's burning.
Yeah, I'm gonna with the torch. I'm gonna try to like scrape with the lit torch, scrape the green slime off of his torso.
Okay.
Yes.
So roll me another. Roll me a d6, so it's a straight up d6.
5.
5. Okay. So Upior is going to take 2.
Okay.
The slime is going to take 3. You have burnt all the slime off. Okay. At the end of the round, the fire also dissipates off as the oil burns off. Upior's, I would assume, just naturally would probably, his boots would probably sink to the ground.
I'm like,
you know when the marshmallow falls into the campfire?
Yeah. I'm gonna, just for the flavor of it, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna pull it up to the ceiling and kind of like rest on the ceiling as if I'm gonna go full fetal.
All right. So yeah. You look like the Baron Harkonnen
because I'm disoriented, right?
So I've read a lot of history books, when I was in university, and just because I enjoy history, and some of the history books I've read because I was more of a specialist in 20th century history, and I remember reading firsthand accounts from World War I of those that were unfortunate enough to be exposed to chemical reagents like mustard gas, which not typically lethal, but incredibly uncomfortable, like just chemical burn, just awful. And their accounts they're hair raising. Now, this is a game and we're having a good time. I get it. But I think this was a great opportunity for you to lean into that horrific element of being devoured by this green slime down to the bone. Your bones are exposed. First of all, you're probably going to die right away. And can you even talk anymore? Like this green slime covered you, melted your face off. Can you even say anything? So he's down to he's tore off his clothes trying to get the stuff off him.
I don't know what's up and down. Yeah, I don't know what's up and down at this point, so I've just gone to a surface and I've fetaled,
Yeah.
So, John, I keep asking this question about David, and you can mull this over, or this question about the spell.
Okay.
So he's asking, but again, you guys, where is John here? Where is John? Where is John on the map? He's not on the map, is he? Mike, I think it'd be better if your character says, I look over at Upior, is screaming in agony. It's probably soundless now. His vocal cords dissolved by the green slime. Then John can come in with his description as needed. Instead of saying, hey, John, can you tell me the next thing?
I have this 4th level spell on a scroll that called...
Oh, no, don't please. Look, if you have something that you think might work, then you describe your character doing this. Why would you say, before I use this, let me just take a moment to speak to the ceiling where the narrator can then tell me whether or not it's going to work?
That's called repair serious injuries. Suppurating wounds, lameness, blindness, illness. We've never been able to find a use for it. So I'm just trying to figure out if I can fix David's face or his body or whatever with this scroll.
I thought Nip Bones was the one that you've always been trying to find a use for. Is that the same one you're looking at?
That might be what it's called. It's Nip Bones, 4th level. Yeah, repair series. This is all the notes that I wrote for it. It's on a scroll from this is before we were writing down pages on scrolls. So
hold on, let me see what's yeah, it is a particle spell. Knit bones.
Oh, look, even if you can only knit my pockmarked bones, I think it's a net positive, But
right.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you. Thanks both of you for coming to my rescue there.
What do you have for hit points now?
I have 10 HP.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. If I had not leveled,
Is he though?
by the way, if I had not leveled.
Is he fine? Is he fine? What would be the psychological impact of watching your own flesh dissolve down to bone? Would you be fine?
Matt?
I mean, yeah, okay, hit points. I got my cure. Well, I don't even sure what that looks like, right? So now you just have these useless, no muscle on them at all. It's dissolved all the way. Your organs, I guess your organs are still, every nerve on fire.
We did this.
You were going in that room alone.
Here's the thing. I did this to myself. I know I did this to myself. I knew it was going to explode in my face a little bit. I didn't think this much. I thought spiders would crawl out. I had the same thought that I think Mike had. I did not think explosive acid that's sentient, but I love it. That was again, I'm a psycho, but that was fucking awesome.
Okay, so
that was fucking awesome.
So knit bones.
Yeah.
It knits broken bones. Closes up suppurating wounds, restores all forms of lesser injuries resulting in a reduction of fitness, like lameness, blindness, deafness. Does not help with magical ailments, like curses, feeble mind, nor can it regrow severed or destroyed body parts or organs. That
Skin is an organ.
Requires regeneration. So I would say that this actually would work against the green slime.
Fair enough. I mean, you're the referee. It's your call. I'm not going to second guess that. It's your call.
I think that would graft to skin. I think that's a fair read, right?
Okay.
So you want to use that scroll?
Yeah.
I think it would have been better, John, if you just have Mike say, as his character, I take out a scroll. I look over at the ruined body of Upior, still in agony, now whimpering, bones exposed. I read the magic of the scroll. Then you can describe what happens or doesn't happen instead of saying, yeah, I think it's going to work. Oh, good. Then I'll do it. Oh, it's not going to work? I'll forget. I'll just put it back in my bag.
I do want to use that scroll. I'm going to use that scroll.
Well, why wouldn't you? You just told you it's going to work.
It has a bunch of other spells on it, so I'm just going to do that.
Okay,
I'm just going to get rid of it off my quick.
Right,
Wolford holds his face really close just to see if he can get a little extra.
Fuck. I actually feel bad now. I forgot Wolford. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Matt. I don't want to take your...
That's okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Really, it looks good when you turn it this way.
Here's what I'll say.
Matt, it's a 4th level spell, man. I just need a little bit of time to research it, and then I'll do it again.
No, we're all good.
Here's what I'll say for flavor. I think because it'd be interesting. No one has to commit to this as well. I think it does whatever it intends to do, but I like the idea that it doesn't do it fully, right? So maybe the areas that were burned are like still a little scar tissued. They're not like maybe it isn't like bone showing anymore, but it is sort of like a
Freddy Krueger.
Not to be like ableist. It's like almost like a rosacea scar. It's like there's
What? Ableist? What's that?
the coloration change, right? Where like anywhere it burnt me, I have like a different sort of like pigmentation. Does that make sense? I think that'd be cool. I don't know.
That's fine by me if you want to do
I'm
it.
trying to make Wolford feel better, but yeah.
Describe it any way you want, man.
Yeah.
By the way, while we're doing this, John, what's that green slime doing? Is it
It's been
quivering
destroyed.
and
It's been destroyed.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
It's all been burned away.
Couldn't that not be in character? What I mean by that, Matt, is you say, Mike, brother Lothar is casting some magic on Upior. Wolford steps around or underneath because Upior is still floating near the ceiling or something in fetal position. I step into the room, lit torch still in hand, looking for any residual green slime. Just keep it in character.
Way. So
Okay.
that green slime was what green slime does, just in case you're wondering. Green slime is, throughout the editions, has always been just the absolute most horrible fucking thing.
Yeah.
But this one was particularly nasty because Richard has made it a slime bomb, right? So
I love it. I love it. Richard, thank you. That was such an exciting moment.
Richard, that's great. You're on
Now,
my
it was
Christmas
so
card.
fun.
aside from the isolated awesomeness of just that creature, that thing, you should be able to make some connections here based upon other things that you have found that are related to the Heketi, right? Things that you know about how the Heketi.
Okay, so we're now into, it'll be more exposition. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. Okay. Let's go back here. And let's fire up some beautiful, smooth, soothing jazz music. I gotta be careful with the volume on this thing. I think that's okay. Should be all right. All right. So obviously, as I mentioned at the onset, this is a different type of game altogether, in a good way, from what we watched with Critical Role. But I do think that it was a missed opportunity. The missed opportunity here was something horrific happened, and the whole time, though reminded several times by the referee that it was horrific, there really wasn't much in the way of role play from either the player whose character was getting dissolved by green slime, or his companions watching this happen, and in a desperate attempt to save that character's life, have to resort to burning the character alive. Aren't they scarred from that? Isn't there some emotional damage? There should be some. There should be some impact to that. I think. Some real impact. And then afterwards, when you stop and you talk about how that was so cool where this happened, it'll feel even more real because all of the characters' turns have reinforced the image, the scene, what's happening in that moment. Having that, I think here, David, this is David, the player that was playing the character who got exposed to green slime. Rather than stepping back and saying, "Hey guys, I think you need to burn me," it should have just been this horrific thing. Your skin, your flesh is melting off you everywhere. You're completely covered in this stuff. I thought the initial response, which was, I tear my clothes off trying to get this stuff off me, was great. How long would that take? Probably some time. Meanwhile, you're dissolving away. Anyway, that was 3d6 down the line, an interesting channel. I think they're dedicated to gaming. They really lean into the exploration side of things. I think their game would be even better, and they'd get so much more out of it if they introduced more in-character play. Just have more of the saying, and you saw glimpses of it here and there. I step into the room, I activate this. Less talk back and forth between player and GM or referee in this case. Less asking John this, John that. If we can move away from that, I think it would be to the benefit of your game. Thank you very much for watching this. Those that do watch it, I hope you're getting something from these. I appreciate your comments and your support as I do these. It's been a few weeks as I've been kind of busy and real life getting in the way, as it often does. But I hope that your games are improving. I hope that you're getting more out of this hobby that we enjoy. Please give a watch to 3D6 Down the Line. I'll link the video that we watched together in the description. You can check that out. And by all means, stay tuned for more, as we'll have more on the way. Until then, have yourself a great evening. I'm Crispy, and I'm signing off. See you later.